Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com and we'll take a look at them after round one. So I received a rather interesting deck list from Ken V, who wanted me to slot in some very interesting cards into essentially the 8-cast shell. So Erayo Soratami Ascendant is one of these meme cards that pops up again once every couple of years in some pseudo-competitive deck list. Whenever the fourth spell of a turn, note a turn, not necessarily your turn, a turn is cast, you flip this thing. And whenever an opponent casts their first spell each turn, you counter that spell if you have successfully flipped this into an enchantment. This was kind of like the flip card cycle from before, like Delver was printed and you literally turn the card over for a new face. This time you flip it upside down. And we're also going to be playing this alongside the reality chip. Now, as long as this is attached to a creature, you can play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. And it has essentially an equip cost called Reconfigure for 3. The difference between Reconfigure and Equip is that you can turn this back into a creature if for some reason you need to do that. Now, the original deck list had a lot of spice in it, but I don't think it was good spice. So let me show you. So the sorts of things that were in the original deck list were things like Mana Maze. Players can't cast spells that share a color with the spell most recently cast this turn. But I actually thought that was a pretty bad idea. I think the donor's idea was, I cast a blue card, my opponent can't counter with a blue spell back. But I think in reality, what's more likely to happen is you shut yourself off from, like, playing a Thought Cast into an Emery or something like that. And I thought that was too much of a downside, so I've replaced those with the more generic defense grids in the sideboard. And when I originally got this deck list, it was essentially like 15 one-ofs in every color known to man and a few that weren't. And I kind of had to rein in the spice a little bit because the original deck list had super narrow things such as Gloom. Oh man, there's too many cards with the word Gloom in its name. Da -da 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 -da. Yeah. Things. Oh, hold on. Things like Gloom. White spells cost 3 more to cast. And while you can try to do that sort of stuff, just being purely reliant on Mox Opal to and Lotus Petal to power out those things, I didn't actually want to go that direction because there's so many things like Null Rod, Meltdown, Collector Oof that are just going to destroy or otherwise turn off your artifacts. And if your cards are getting turned off and you don't actually have the mana symbols necessary to cast them without your artifacts, like you may have the perfect card in hand, but no ability to actually cast it. So I have kept some of the spice, and I've added volcanic islands instead of regular islands to the mana base, so that we can play 2 super spicy sideboard cards. The first is Flame Blitz. Minsc and Boo has become extremely popular, and this is just a card that says no to that, as well as every other Planeswalker those roughly 4-color expressive iteration control piles might be playing. And the other one is super cute, Pia's Revolution. Whenever a non-token artifact is put into a graveyard from your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to your hand unless target opponent has Pia's Revolution, deal 3 damage to them. So essentially, every LED, Lotus Petal, Mishra's Bauble, Tormod's Crypt, Urza's Bauble becomes like essentially like a rebought card unless your opponent takes a lightning bolt to the face to stop it. And notably, that's non-token artifact, so that includes the artifact creatures, which is super cool. Now, is this maybe too cute? Probably, but like, let's be real here. Like, we're playing the reality chip in hopes of churning through our deck to flip Erayo. So like, we're starting in too cute territory, so like, might as well stay there. Yeah, I think at this point we'll go ahead and just hop into the league. If you're new here and you like what you see today, please consider subscribing. And if you're a regular, throw me a like before this video begins. It's one of the greatest predictors of video success for a content creator. It matters a lot. All right, let's battle. Okay, I don't have any persistent mana here, and I'm not doing anything especially powerful on turn 1. So this one's an auto mulligan. This also feels like a mulligan, unfortunately. Could go all in on Emery Bauble. It's not actually that bad. Assuming Emery lives, I get a few redraws towards follow-up lands. And if I hit some artifacts, I have Thoughtcast in the mid-game. There's some degree of risk here. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. And just kind of hope that things work out in my favor. Alright, now we'll cast Emery. Healing no artifacts, which is fine. I have revealed a Caracas. Fuck. Well, I don't think you need me to tell you that that's fucking bad. Oh, that's a Primeval Titan. Oh shit, Emery didn't get hit by Karak. This is a fucking monkey paw situation right here if I've ever seen one. Okay. Well, I knew there was some degree of risk in keeping this hand. I didn't expect, like, this to be exactly what I was looking at. I guess my land drop, I have 2 artifacts. I don't think I need to play this out. I'm gonna hold that in case I draw, Flippy Whoozy, what's it? Erayo. But I think I've lost game 1 here. I'm going to keep playing, but my opponent seems... Goddamn. My opponent seems very favored from this juncture. Got another Once Upon a Time at end step. Okay, cool. I assume my opponent is playing a Cloud Post deck, by the way, and we just happen to see a one of Caracas that's a tutor target in their opener. Alright, that is a Cavern of Souls, which is presumably going to go on Giant for this bad boy. Only 18 more Emery attacks until we get there. Yeah, map is happening. I never got to 2 mana for Chalice. Yep. Well, Mox Opal, you are 1 turn late, but I still do appreciate you. I assume my opponent will take 1, so they can just crack Expedition map. I am correct. Let's play a Tormod's Crypt, a Mox Opal for Metalcraft reasons. This costs 2 mana. I think I want to try to high roll this here and just hit a land. Did hit a land and an LED. I'm gonna play this. 1, 2, 3. This is 4. Now Thoughtcast costs 1 mana. Another Otawara. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mishra's Bauble is 6. I can just cast a Kappa Cannoneer next turn. I don't think I play this. Just gonna save that for flexibility. Because if I am in a world where I can play that after Kappa Cannoneer, it's just worth that extra damage. Alright, there is the Cloud Post that I suspected would be coming. My opponent hasn't had a lot of, like, bonus acceleration. They've just kind of had stability and selection. So, like, I'm very scared as this game goes along. But they might not even Primeval Titan next turn. It would require, like, Cloud Post into Glimmer Post or some other ramp card. Fuck me. You have the oof in game 1? I bet you do. Yeah. Stings a little bit. Not gonna lie to you. Alright. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do need to play another artifact here. I don't think I want to give up the Otawara as a land drop. here. Alright, there's a Kappa Cannoneer. There's a starting 5/5. And I don't think I need to grow it immediately. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn here. Gonna be very hard to use Otawara to bounce an oof. It's not technically impossible. I can draw like Ancient Tomb, Volcanic Island, and do it. Alright. So, not Primeval Titan this turn. It's almost certainly Primeval Titan next turn. Alright. Ramunap is fine. But scary stuff is coming in the future. Might need to just use the Otawara to push damage here. Sort of a wild sentence to say. I think that's where I'm at. Let's use this. Cast a Chalice on 1. Gonna make that a 6/6. 7/7. Okay. Mishra's Bauble is 8/8. Okay, you can bounce the Emery, that's fine. 8 plus 9 is 17. So I have lethal next turn, assuming Primeval Titan doesn't fuck with this in some capacity. But Primeval Titan probably will fuck with it in some capacity. With, like, double Glimmer Post? Oh, I'm not the biggest fan of my... What the fuck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Just no next land? Gallus stops crop rotation? So I think I can just go for lethal here? I so expected to be dead. Yeah, this is just an unblockable 9/9. Do I have it? This is a fucking steal. I got so lucky. My opponent has 5 cards in hand. None of them are lands. They never manually drew a locus. They didn't find a locus between two, another locus between 2 Once Upon a Times and an expedition map. Yeah. Straight up luck here. Alright, I absolutely need the Dismembers for the Collector Oofs. Echoing Truth is okay by similar logic. What is coming out? Erayo? Alice isn't exactly great on the draw either. Torment's Crypt also is not particularly good. It's an artifact for, you know, Metalcraft and Urza Saga and whatnot, so, like, it's not, like, totally irrelevant. And, like, there are Ramunaps over there. Maybe I cut one of those to Erayo for these 3 cards. I could buy that. Holy shit, do I just get to play Erayo on turn 1? Feet, Petal, Erayo, Lotus Petal, LED, Flip. Just counters the first spell my opponent plays every single turn. Yes. Don't let your memes be dreams. Alright, you may absolutely cast your Once Upon a Time. Misty Rainforest. Totally fine. Forest is fine. Elvish Reclaimer is an... Oh wait, no, this isn't going to be a legendary creature on the backside. It's just going to be a legendary enchantment. No, that's totally fine. Oh, baby. 1. 2. Sacrifice Petal to play Erayo. Urza's Bauble. Lotus Petal. Flip it. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can maybe play a Kappa Cannoneer next turn if I don't crack Bauble. If I draw any 0-cost artifact, I'm going to go ahead and hold Bauble in play for that reason. Now, opponent does have a Cavern of Souls that they can find, so, like, they're not 100% locked out forever. But this is pretty good. And we did the thing in round 1. That feels good. Good stuff. I will give you the pleasure of attacking me for 1 if you would like. This is another Kappa Cannoneer. I'm 1 mana short of doing. I think I just play my land and hope to draw any 0-cost artifact to start playing these. A little awkward if I miss. But I think the Kappa Cannoneer is just a much more reliable threat than Urza Saga tokens. Like, I can change my mind and crack my bauble trying to look for a land drop. But as of right now, I'm probably drawing to, like, greater than 50% of my deck, allowing me to cast Kappa Cannoneer. So I think I'm good with this situation. Because any land drop does it, any 0-cost artifact does it, yeah. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Will be 5. Will be 6. There's the Kappa Cannoneer. This is just like Kappa Cannoneer followed by Kappa Cannoneer, which will be incredibly strong. This Urza Saga can also find a Pithing... I do have Pithing Needle, right? I feel like there was a Pithing Needle in this deck list. Yeah, there's a Pithing Needle. Yeah, I can just find a Pithing Needle. Are you copying Cloud Post? Or are you using Elvish Reclaimer? Okay, yep, the copy is fine. Yeah, putting this Pithing Needle on Elvish Reclaimer so that my opponent can't go and find Cavern of Souls is probably really strong. Okay. Can I make an Urza Saga Construct token and still Kappa Cannoneer? So that costs me these 3. I will have 1, 2, 3. That costs... I guess I can count them into that. So that costs me 3 of these. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the Urza Saga gives me 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine to go ahead and do. So this grows my good friend here. And let's just always yield to that. Do my searching. Oh no, opponent didn't respond either, which is very nice. Elvish Reclaimer. Go ahead and shut that off. No Cavern of Souls for you. Play Lotus Petal. Kappa Cannoneer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have to use the blue here for 6. Grows the first Kappa Cannoneer to monstrous proportions, attacking for 9. And then I probably have lethal next turn. Now, opponent can, like, play Expedition Map. Yeah, okay. They can play Expedition Map into something big and dumb and potentially try to beat through this here. It would have to be the, like, Olamog that exiles too. Okay, yeah. Now, these do have Ward 4, though, so I think I'm actually probably okay. And any artifact is guaranteed lethal. Alright, I am losing Erayo and my Pithing Needle. Okay. The opponent has 2 mana floating, so they could turn a Glimmer Post into a Glimmer Post to gain some life. That's reasonable. 4 life up to 15. Ooh, Glacial Chasm instead. Ooh, that's a problem. That might beat me. My opponent can do that for enough turns. Or, well, you can't attack while you have that. Okay. Are you indestructible? You are indestructible. So let's get some more cards here. Oh god, there's a Force of Vigor. And a Boseiju. No, sure, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm not scared, you're scared. I mean, I knew exactly the sequence that could beat me, and my opponent happened to have it. Did not draw a Force of Will to help out with this current situation. My opponent doesn't actually have that much mana. That's the good news here. Oh, the Boseiju went into play as a land. Like that. There's a Thespian stage here. So, my opponent's got more turns than it looks like of keeping the Glacial Chasm. Alright, another Reclaimer. And there will be no attacks from my opponent because of, you know, creatures you control can't attack. This can't bounce a land, right? No. Artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. Alright, let's work towards being able to hardcast that. And I'm going to make this as my land drop. I don't want to play out, like, another artifact land and then lose both to a Force of Vigor at the same time. Long term, I'm scared of Caracas Olamog. Okay, the Glacial Chasm has gone away. Finding another cloud post. That is probably not good for me. I don't know exactly how it's bad. But that might mean we're going into, like, Emrakul sorts of territory. No attack. A little wild. How much mana is this? 3, 6, 9, 10 mana. So, if my opponent has green card in hand or Force of Vigor, they can pay 8 mana and kill both Kappa Cannoneers on this attack. And play Ancient Tomb and have Otawara available. What if they don't have green card? They can gain 8 life at instant speed with double Elvish Reclaimer activation. They gain 8 life, they are at 17, which requires playing both of these artifacts. So in the world where they don't have a green card, I need to play both of these. Let's play towards that. Alright. Kappas grow. Kappas grow. This is the 18 that I expect I need to present lethal through double Glimmer Post. Okay. First Elvish Reclaimer activation. Glimmer Post. Go to 13. Okay. They did have the green card. That is most unfortunate. You cost 4 to activate right now. I don't have a legendary creature. I really did not expect to lose this game after turn 1 Erayo. Alright. The Glimmer Post goes away. It can now find Caracas. Okay, it just finds another Cloud Post. No, that's not scary at all. I'm not scared. You're scared. This is, in theory, 16 incoming damage. Emrakul. Emrakul. Alright. I will absolutely concede to that. I did not expect to lose that game. I mean, I knew exactly how it could happen. But I needed one more turn. I think I am happy enough with how I have sideboarded here. I don't think I want Force of Negations. They don't fight over the right cards. I also think the game on the play is significantly easier because, like, Chalice of the Void does so much more. Yeah, for example. Yeah, like, holy shit, this hand is good. Alright. Ancient Tomb, Chalice on 1. I don't think I play out my Bauble this turn. I don't want to be forced to use that if my opponent has, like, a Force of Vigor or something like that. Any 0-cost artifact gives me Kappa Cannoneer next turn. You've got a Thespian stage. That's fine. Shadowspear is one of the worst draws in my deck there. Do I just want to play Volcanic Island and pass? Or do I want to get Urza Saga started? Playing Urza Saga is really awkward if my opponent has Force of Vigor. But in every world where they don't have that, I think this is the better play. I will now play out Urza's Bauble. I think I'm going to need a pivot in case Force of Vigor happens at end step instead. Yeah. I think it's a mistake to give me that extra mana, though. Alright. So this is on my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any 0-cost artifact gives me Kappa Cannoneer. Do I want to crack Bauble in response? No. Yeah, that Force of Vigor is super annoying for me. I think it was correct to play it out, though, because I'm... Oh, that's pretty good. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towards Kappa Cannoneer. I can guarantee to have it. I think the damage that I am about to take is okay. Greatness at any cost, right? And play out the Shadow Spear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be 6 next turn, although I can hold this in hand in case I don't need to use it. And then a lifelinking Kappa Cannoneer. Good. Put me in very good shape. It's very much not guaranteed win territory. Echoing Truth is not bad. Alright, so there's LED. And that gets me a Kappa. It is currently a 5/5. Be a 6/6 upon equip. Oh my god, that is so many natural cloud posts. Alright. Urza's Bobble. Throws this creature. Ow. Equip is fine. Is 7 damage. Putting my opponent to 12. I get a few Urza's Bobble redraws. Oh my god, opponent has Olamog and Karakas. Alright. Okay. So this is 3, 6, 9, 10 mana. That's enough for Olamog. It is not enough for Olamog and paying for the ward, though. That is, I guess, the good news. I guess my best draw would be the Echo of Eons. Just like draw 7, attempt to kill my opponent. Oh my god, why? Also, didn't my opponent just like absolutely fucking savagely misplay, right? So they had 3, 6, 9, 10, they just didn't float from the forest, so they could have gone like 10 Olamog, nuke 2 of my lands, and then have Glacial Chasm as well. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take 2. 5, 6. Get a second Kappa Cannoneer started. Always yield to those. I just can't beat Olamog Karakas as this game goes long, I don't think. Could be wrong. Opponent's on a clock from their Glacial Chasm, but... Okay, that copies Cloud Post, that's fine. But now you have 4, 8, 9 mana, you can't cast your Olamog. Yeah, my opponent is tripping all over their lines here. Oh, you have another Force of Vigor with 8 mana? Sure. No, sure, that's totally reasonable. So I'll make my opponent pay for the ward. So do I Echoing Truth these back to my hand? That probably falls into the category of cute, right? I should just play a new Kappa Cannoneer. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should just play a new Kappa Cannoneer and have a threat in play this turn. I think that's better. Alright. Alright. I wish I had a little bit more mana. I also just wish my opponent didn't fucking have Karakas so that, like, Emery was relevant, because Emery recycling these Kappa Cannoneers from graveyards would be insanely strong. I kind of feel like I did everything right this game, and my opponent god drew me. Like, I think the only decision I made that could have been made differently was whether or not to play that Urza Saga early. And in every world where they don't have that Force of Vigor right there, I think my line is correct. I just got super fucking punished by the follow-up Force of Vigor. Alright, I will concede there. I mean, that was a great game of Magic, but I cannot help, like, feeling I got a little bit unlucky. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. Moxfield is a deck building website, but it does more than just that. I've got the collection tracker pulled up today, and you can keep track of which cards you do and don't own, so that you'd never have to worry about, hey, do I actually own this card? Did I actually buy this? And if you're not scared of large numbers, you can also take a look at the total estimated value of those cards as well, and realize exactly how much those EDH decks are worth. Alright, round 2. I've got another one of these turn 1 Emery hands that is really strong if Emery lives. I think I'm going to go ahead and just kind of accept that. So this will be 3 artifacts in play come end of turn. Assuming I want to play out the Tormod's Crypt as well. Emery gets countered, I have to crack both baubles. A little awkward because, like, I would like a high artifact count for Thoughtcast and Kappa Cannoneer. Erayo to graveyard. I don't need to play out Tormod's Crypt right now unless Chalice on 0 is a thing. In case Chalice on 0 is a thing, I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I need more artifacts in play for Kappa Cannoneer anyway. I'm not going to crack these 2 baubles immediately. I'm going to wait and see what my opponent does on their turn and use that to inform my decision. No covered island. I assume we're going to be here for a while. I'm going to go ahead and just crack these. Alright, so opponent has a Swords of Plowshares on top. And let's take a look at a card. Alright, and they have a Force of Will. Good to know. Another Kappa Cannoneer. And a Seat. So if I play Ancient Tomb, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towards Kappa Cannoneer. I'm 1 short, so I should optimize for playing Thoughtcast instead. This is target player's hand, right? Yeah, so I want this bauble. I'll go ahead and cast that. Now I have 1, 2, 3. Thoughtcast will cost 2 off Seat. And we'll see if that's good enough to snag a Force of Will. It is not. Next turn, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 very easily towards casting a Kappa Cannoneer if I would like to do that. I kind of want to play this Chalice of the Void. Again, I don't really think I need to make my Urza's Bauble decision now. I don't really want to pitch a Kappa Cannoneer to a Force of Will if I draw one. Alright, Brainstorm, Flooded Strand. I assume my opponent will fetch and immediately cast Swords to Plowshares on Emery. Savannah. Alright, so we're playing against a Bant deck. Goodbye, Swords. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cash in Urza's Bauble here. Because I'm just going to play Chalice on my turn. Alright, they've got another Flooded Strand. A-okay with me. Oh, baby. I love that draw. Alright. Let's do this. There is a Chalice of the Void. Let's see if that's good enough to get the Force of Will. Oh shit, it is not good enough to get the Force of Will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I just play another Chalice, honestly. Because the first one might not be good enough to get the Force of Will because my opponent has a Prismatic Ending. Fantastic. Got easy Kappa Cannoneer next turn. Maybe double Kappa Cannoneer. Alright, let's count out this mana. So assuming I play Ancient Tomb. Towards Kappa Cannoneer, I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Really, 11. Do you cost 1 right now? You do cost 1 right now. Let's start here. See if this gets countered. Ooh, it does not. Urza Saga's really strong. Let's play that. Play a Kappa Cannoneer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's leave up Tormod's Crypt. 5, 6. There's an attempt at the first Kappa Cannoneer. Resolves. Wild. Okay. I don't think I need to play out Mox Opal here for any reason. I don't think this needs to be a 6/6 for any removal spells or anything, and I'd rather use it to make my creature unblockable next turn. Alright. What are we working with over there? Endurance is totally fine. You may nuke my graveyard. I don't have an Emery right now, so I don't really care about it. Sure. Inskin Boo is fine. I will very easily race that card. Yep, yeah, you can have your counters. That's about what I thought. Okay, I've got a lot of artifacts. I probably kill Minskin Boo this turn. I'm always playing one of these. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to / need to take 2 from Ancient Tomb. I think I optimized this for the biggest possible Kappa Cannoneers. But I probably want to play this one first. Alright. Kappa Cannoneer is unblockable. Play Kappa Cannoneer. I can tap this. Probably safe to tap the Tormod's Crypt. This. Okay, that also doesn't get the Force of Will. I'm convinced my opponent just doesn't have a blue card at this point. Alright, play Mox Opal. Alright, am I just going for my opponent's throat and having my opponent's life total? I guess Supreme Verdict's really awkward if I do that. And I already very much have unblockable lethal next turn, right? It'll be at least 2 bigger, so this will be 10, 18. Yeah, that's already lethal next turn. So let's just kill Minskin Boo. Alright, good stuff. So outside of some sort of Terminus Supreme Verdict type thing, I should very much have lethal next turn, and if that sort of thing happens, I think this Urza Saga will just kill my opponent anyway. Yeah, Uro is not a big deal. I think I'll still have lethal through that anyway. Once I grab a Shadow Spear so that my Urza Saga construct tramples. Okay, yeah. And did opponent really just not have enough blue cards in their... They had the Uro, unless that was their draw for turn. Alright. So I think this is where I use my sort of transformative red splash. I think I'm going to get rid of these 5 cards, or these 4 cards, and then play a couple of unlicensed hearse over the LEDs. Because the LEDs lose almost all of their value with that stuff gone. Can I also board out Echo? Because if I can board out Echo, I think that's good for me. I can play Defense Grid or Force of Negation or Echoing Truth, all of which are reasonable. I like Defense Grid better on the play than on the draw. On the draw, a lot of times, like, I'll play it out and my opponent will just Prismatic Ending it away. My blue count's actually kind of low once I board out those cards. I actually probably shouldn't board in Force of Negation. Let's go ahead and still play the Defense Grids. My mana doesn't quite work out here. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this one. Is this keep and believe in the deck? It's probably keep and believe in the deck to draw a threat of some nature. Because, like, I very easily have Metalcraft. I have 2 relevant things that I can cast. They don't technically win the... Okay, yeah, that's the sort of shit that I need. Alright. Seat. Crypt. Opal. I think I start on Defense Grid. Because next turn, in theory at least, I can play Chalice into Thoughtcast uncounterably. Fantastic. Alright, are you going to just Prismatic Ending away my Defense Grid, as I predicted might happen? When I sideboarded it in. Oh, it is a Wasteland. Sure. That's not bad. Now you get a cantrip. Oh, are you gonna Prismatic Ending Mox Opal? Sure. That is certainly an approach. Yeah, like, unless you can follow that up with, like, a Life from the Loam or something, though. Well, no, Life from the Loam's a bad example there, right? Like, unless you follow that up with more mana denial, I am going to get out of this very quickly, and whatever I do is going to be uncounterable, too. Alright. There's Urza Saga. Cast a Chalice of the Void for 1 to protect said Urza Saga. Play a Mishra's Bauble, which I should probably just rack. I think it's more important for me to try to hit a land drop next turn so that I can just get my Urza Saga tokens naturally. I can't cast this right now. I can cycle it if things get bad. Narset is annoying. It will not be annoying if I get to Flame Blitz, though. Finding Minsc and Boo. There's a slight problem that we're, like, not going to talk about right now. But I, in theory, have an answer to the threats that my opponent is putting out there. However, Narset very specifically stopping me from Thought Casting, which was my plan B for this Urza Saga, is rough. So am I on the cycle plan on their turn? Seems like it. This game has not worked out well. Like, it looked like it was going to work out well. An expressive iteration is very good. Yep. Finding Ponder. Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, the good news is my opponent is missing land drops. The bad news is, like, my situation is worse than their situation is. Fantastic. Thank you, deck. Very cool. Float mana. I believe I just need to Pithing Needle, Minsc, and Boo so I don't die easily. Alright, there we go. Opponent said, now that's a card I didn't even know existed. Was almost good here. Alright. I'll go ahead and play my Emery, which is uncounterable due to Defense Grid. Ooh, there's a Pious Revolution in the graveyard. Now, this Emery hopefully can just attack and kill Narset. If my opponent just passes the turn with green available, though, I don't know that I can really attack. Shit. Prismatic Ending's very good there. Alright, but, like, that's a prismatic ending that isn't answering this Chalice or this Pithing Needle, though, so, like, fuck yes! Thank you, deck! I know you have betrayed me in some of these other turns, but that was pretty damn clutch. Oh shit, Unlicensed Hearse? That's something that's pretty good to play from the yard. This is cast, right? So I can't get the artifact land, which is relevant. Don't do it again, don't do it again. My poor heart can't take this. Alright. Otawara. That needs to just be a land drop. And I think I just need to play a Chalice on 1. So that my opponent can't just use another Prismatic Ending or Teferi to get this out of play and then unleash however many 1-drops are currently stuck in their hand. Alright. Now my opponent can just, like, play out a Minskenboo and have it sit on the board. Like, it still makes a 1/1 creature that can attack. They are not doing that. Alright, I'm chilling. Oh, I guess noticeably I don't really need to worry about Endurance ambushing my stuff. Opponent might have Force of Will. Or they might have forgotten about Defense Grid Endurance. If they forgot about Defense Grid Endurance. Oh, no. No. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. So, this Minskenboo is going to make absolute short order of me. The third Prismatic Ending was a backbreaker, and the Force of Vigor as follow-up, I think, is unbeatable. I am going to take another draw step if my draw step is exactly Kappa Cannoneer this turn. I think I'm still in it, but I don't think I'm in it after that. I will concede that one. Happy with how I played that one. It didn't quite work out in my favor. I think I'm going to keep my sideboarding as is. Like, if I want to board in these cards, which I do legitimately think are good against my opponent, I don't think I can play Force of Negation because my blue count is just too low. And I think I'm still supposed to play Chalice of the Void. Like, my opponent has a lot of stuff that it dodges, but I still think I'm supposed to play it. This is an Emery hand. 1, 2, 3, cast Emery on 1, take 1 redraw towards Defense Grid the following turn. I think I'm supposed to keep hands that look like this, but I'm not excited about it. Alright, Lotus Petal versus Bobble. Actually, I guess I didn't need to play out Lotus Petal since Seat is my land. That's a small misplay on my end. Do I want a draw towards Force of Will, or do I want 1, 2, 3 artifacts in play? Thoughtcast costs 2, 4 artifacts. No, I want to keep my Bobble in play. Unless Emery gets answered. Okay, Emery is not getting answered. Emery is getting answered. Shit, okay. If I draw a land or 0-cost artifact, Thoughtcast costs 1. Then maybe I'm not supposed to crack it. Fantastic. Alright. Now, do I want Defense Grid or Thoughtcast? I think I want Thoughtcast, oddly. I'm not going to be casting spells for the next couple of turns in all likelihood. I'd rather vomit some more stuff into play and try to guarantee that I hit my next land drop. Yes. Cast Mox Opal. I think cast Defense Grid now. That feels worth it to me. I'll go ahead and play this out in case I have to pivot after a meltdown or some crazy shit like that. But I don't innately want to crack these, because they are going to help me cast a Kappa Cannoneer. Oh, come on! Come on! Naturally with no cantrip collector oof. That is some bullshit. Alright, revealing Brainstorm Savannah. Alright, give me some justice and at least let me draw an Ancient Tomb in one of those 3 draws. Justice for Phil. No justice for Phil. Justice for Phil. Okay, cool. We're still playing Magic. Because I very much wasn't, I think, if I missed Ancient Tomb there. Just hard fucking league, though, for me. Like, I keep getting paired against these, like, Force of Vigor Collector Oof decks. Uro's good, but feels potentially beatable. I can get a Tormod's Crypt to help me beat it. Kappa. Okay, now we're brainstorming. And I assume Collector Oof does not get to attack, because Constructs are big bigs. So there we go. There's a Saga Construct token. I'll make another one on my turn. Creates a 5/5, soon to be 6/6, soon to be 7/7. This gets Pithing Needle. I think I still name Minsk and Boo. It's possible I'm supposed to name Teferi, but I think Teferi would have happened over... No, Teferi wouldn't have happened over Uro. Yeah, Minsk and Boo just makes a chump blocker every turn, and I can't trample. So let's go ahead and do that. Make this a 7/7. My opponent wants to block. I am so good with that. I, however, do not think that they want to block. This is going to be 15, and then I play a new Urza Saga to kind of keep the hate coming. If I draw a Volcanic Island, I can play this Kappa Cannoneer, and it's really good too. Narset is fine. Narset is slow. Yeah, you can find a Brainstorm. I am good with that. So, like, Dress Down is the big thing I guess I need to avoid. Alright, Prismatic Ending on a token is very good. That means my opponent doesn't necessarily have to chump block next turn. Oh my god, do you just have 2 removal spells? Sure. Alright. I'll take 2. I'm at 14. My life total's fine. My constructs are bigger than Uro. And if I can find a Volcanic Island, or if I can take the Collector Roof out of play, I think I can just win this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, these are 7/7s. They're going to kill in 2 hits. Pyroblast is pretty good versus Kappa Cannoneer and Emery. Less good against Urza Saga. Brainstorm is fine. I assume this is the point where my opponent now plays Uro. They couldn't Brainstorm a land back to top of deck to just guarantee that they get their value from Uro. Yep. That's 17. There's the guaranteed land. Baraka at that, so that's good against my Emery. Go down to 12, end of turn. Make an Urza Saga Construct token. Lotus Petal's not exactly great, but I guess everything that's an artifact technically helps here. 7/7s, now 8/8s. If I take Collector Oof out of play, I want Shadow Spear to regain life, I think. So that's 8/8. Let's make that 9/9. I'm gonna kind of try to go for the throat here. My opponent can just block with Uro and bounce. They're not doing that. If they just have, like, another Prismatic Ending or Source of Plowshare, they can take my Construct token out of the way, attack me for 8. It leaves me in a not great position. But I think I... What do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do in playing against this degree of hate? I go to 2 here after that absolute savage blowout. Concede. Alright, GG. This will be round 3. This is like the most average looking hand in the world. It doesn't quite do anything impressive. So that probably means I should just mulligan this, but I'm going to take a second for some Kappa Cannoneer math. So if I go Seed of the Synod on turn 1, into Pithing Needle on Wasteland, that's 2 artifacts, Urza's Bauble, or I guess I should count this as permanents, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 mana towards Kappa Cannoneer on turn 2. Any 0-cost artifact that has a turn 3 Kappa Cannoneer. I think I can just do better. Yes, I consider this better. Kind of Erayo on turn 1. Probably not good, though. Because that requires me to play a Chalice on 0. I think this is a play Chalice of the Void on turn 1 and then play Emery hand. Okay. So, we're playing a Mirror, which means Chalice on 1 is a lot less good than I thought it was going to be. Alright. What do you have going on? Okay, my opponent's presumably got Echo. Oh! Bauble, okay. So this is, feels like Ant that has taken on some of the new TES tech of Mishra's Bauble. Turns out Erayo would have been fucking great. Also, I'm just dead, right? 4, 8 total mana. Infernal Tutor for Infernal Tutor for Infernal Tutor for Tendrils. I guess you can also just add Naws. But the Infernal Tutor line is just deterministic, right? 8 total mana is Infernal Tutor, that's 4 total mana, Tendrils. Yeah, that's deterministic from 20. Yep, okay. Alright, I see the writing on the wall. An opponent remembered to crack their LED. And that's lethal. I'm going to go ahead and let my opponent kill me. And this is a super niche line here. I'm going to allow my opponent to kill me, and then I am going to draw a card to see what card they saw off their bauble. Fuck, they know exactly what deck I'm playing since they saw Thoughtcast. I was hoping they would see something like Volcanic Island. Alright, 4x Force of Negation is probably what I board in here. I don't know exactly what to board out. I probably don't need the Reality Chip. I don't know whether or not my opponent has Wishclaw Talismans, so that Pithing Needle is good. In absence of knowing whether or not they have that, I'm just going to go ahead and board it out. And then maybe I board down 1 Tormod's Crypt. The card's like, okay. Okay. This hand would totally be a keep in a fair matchup, but we are not in a fair matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this. This feels like a keep. A little awkward, because my Mox Opal isn't producing mana on turn 1. Maybe not on turn 2 either. I think I still keep the Mox Opal. I think I throw back an Urza's Saga over the Thoughtcast. I don't know, maybe I just throw back the Thoughtcast. Keeping both Urza Sagas means that I guaranteed have a win condition in play that I can actually activate. Alright, land, Lotus Petal, 2 mana, I will Chalice on 1. I'm going to go ahead and play out Mox Opal in case I have to deal with a discard spell. I think that's very unlikely since I have a Chalice in play, but like I could get fucking crashed. Who knows? Alright, Opal. Otawara is not really what I'm looking for. At the same time, it's also not particularly that bad. Alright, Bauble is fine. Notably, if I were a different Chalice of the Void deck, I very much could have considered playing Chalice on 0, but given how many 0 drops I do have, I don't really think that's reasonable. Mox Opal is not currently on. Always playing out Otawara as my land drop, I think. I am fine doing this at sorcery speed, because that does turn on Mox Opal or Emery. Alright. That makes my Chalice of the Voids just a little bit more protected, which is nice. Note that my opponent still very much can combo off through a Chalice of the Void. I do not think I am 100% safe here. I am going to value the speed at which I kill my opponent pretty highly. Okay. We forget, or are we getting a card out of hand for Infernal Tutor? That's often the game in these sorts of situations. Alright. These are going to be some big damage turns here. Get a Crypt. There's LED-based lines too. I think I'm just going to get a Crypt. Just kind of take that insulation here. Play Urza Saga as land drop. 1. I want a Kappa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm willing to tap Crypt, I can play Kappa. My opponent takes 7 this turn and then lethal next turn. I don't think it is correct to attempt to play Kappa Cannoneer accordingly. I think I'm just going to deal maximum amount of damage to my opponent here. Deal 12, and then this is just lethal next turn. I can cash in my Bauble if I feel like I need to. Opponent weirdly paused for a little while on their upkeep. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Alright. They are moving. Okay, they're just putting one card under. Not gonna crack that. Echoing Truth on my construct tokens is a little annoying here. Oh, why would you do it with this timing? Oh no, sorry, this Urza Saga is at 1, not at 2. Sure. Chalice of the Void for X equals 2 feels really good here, and then I can just take a bunch of redraws off baubles. Alright. Chalice on 2. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So I haven't seen a Wishclaw Talisman. I do know my opponent has Mishra's Bauble. Do I want Pithing Needle? I'm very unsure about the Pithing Needle in Tormod's Crypt. I probably don't want to be running Echo. That seems dangerous. Makes my LEDs worse. But I think I'm just going to keep every single zero-cost artifact as a way to help flip Erayo. So I think that means bringing the Tormod's Crypt back in if I don't want that card. And I could play Pithing Needle over, like, a Kappa Cannoneer or a Thoughtcast or something. But I don't think I want to cut a blue card for a non-blue card since I have Force of Negation as a thing that I care about. This has a turn 1 Chalice of the Void with a Force of Negation as the plan B for if Chalice of the Void gets taken by a discard spell. This is not my ideal hand, but I think it is good enough to not just auto-mulligan. Alright. See what you got, opponent. Like, if you turn 1 me, you turn 1 me. Are we just playing these out, or do you have a win? You're just playing these out. Fantastic. Now, I could just be cheeky and just pass with Force of Negation up. Kind of like that. Yeah, I actually like that a lot. And then next turn I can play Ancient Tomb Chalice on 1. And still hold up Force of Negation. That occurs. That is not worth giving up my Lotus Petal for. Sure. Alright, and we're chilling. Can I cast 4 spells this turn? Erayo is 1. Mox Opal is 2. I always play this land this turn, I think. So, not counting colors, this is Erayo. I have 3 mana, kind of 4 mana remaining. Is this worth these resources? Like, is this better than just having a Chalice of the Void with Force of Negation up? I don't think it is. I'm not 100% sure, though, but I don't think it is. Alright. There's a Chalice. I also have the option to pitch cast Force of Negation if necessary. Alright, yeah, you can Brainstorm. I was kind of hoping to get this Chalice in before those cantrips fired off, but that's okay. Okay. All fine. Another Brainstorm. Wild. Okay. It's resolved. Man, this is really awkward now, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. I could cast this. It's the 4th spell of a turn, but it's on the stack, so it won't see that trigger. Wild. Okay. Pass the turn here. So I'm protected against discard spells because of Chalice, which means that I can counter a business spell that my opponent plays. No. That's worth my Lotus Petal to me. Let's just say no to that, because that can get some sort of thing that just answers Chalice of the Void. Or alternatively, like an empty, and a small empty is very good here. Did you just have 2 of them? Oh, I see. It's a small Galvanic Relay. Oh, wow. Burning with Wish and Echoing Truth, and I'm 1 mana or 1 spell short of flipping an Erayo this turn. I think I play this and see if my opponent flips it for me. That's a little weird, but that feels correct. Alright. Opal is their draw. Spell 1. Gunking an Opal. Without floating mana, which is probably a mistake, because they could have cast Lotus Petal from Exile first to get another mana. Echoing Truth Chalice. Spell 2. Thoughtseize, take the Chalice. That's spell 3. Okay, they're not flipping Erayo. Which means that Burning Wish is gone. So I'm probably favored in this position, question mark. My opponent has a decent amount of mana in play. If they top deck an Infernal Tutor, they do not have enough to add Naws as of right now. Alright, we're chilling. How much does this cost? This costs 3. I think I'm supposed to pay life for this and keep my blue mana. That is spell 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Play land drop. Attack for 1. Bring opponent to 13. Play Urza's Bauble. Float blue. Play Mox Opal. Keep the untapped one. This is spell 4 of the turn, which flips this. I think meaning that I get to keep both sides. Yeah, nice. I do have enough mana available for a Force of Negation, so I guess I'll go ahead and do this. Opponent has Veil of Summer. Okay, Emery is super cool. Emery means that I can Chalice. Uh-huh. I counter that spell. Yeah, opponent is a little confused about that card. Alright. Opponent goes to 12. I play an Emery, milling a bunch of cards. I play a Tormod's Crypt, helping to cover my opponent's graveyard. Again, I don't know how much that matters. I think once this Chalice is in play, it's real tough for my opponent to win. I think I put the Chalice, the first Chalice that I play on 2, or the Tutors and the Wishes. Let's get rid of that. I guess I can look at the top card of their library first, then make that decision. The Lotus Petal. That's fine. 1 damage. Opponent goes to 11. Emery. Target Chalice of the Void. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do this for X is 2. I guess I tap this in a way that I can't cast a Force of Negation if I draw it. Yeah, it's probably fine. Alright, and I don't have an actual threat in my graveyard as of right now. Oh, there's a threat. Alright. Erayo will crash in, bringing my opponent to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's Kappa Cannoneer, Emery, target Bauble, play Bauble, Bauble target you. We're drawing a Lotus Petal. This is all fine with me. And I imagine that I probably kill my opponent next turn. Alright, GG's. Let's see, this is round 4. I think I'm 2-1. This hand doesn't have enough mana. It is an automatic mulligan. Opponent says they're a fan. You're in a video. Good luck. I'm at 3 spells towards Erayo on turn 2. I'm gonna keep this hand. Opponent says, can I concede now before I embarrass myself? Absolutely, friend. I'm gonna throw back the Echo. I don't have an LED here or a way to discard it. My opponent is going to 4 cards. So we might be looking at some sort of like oops all spells, reanimator sort of strategy. Oh, it's just a flooded strand? Okay. So there's this Erayo, right? On turn 2, I can play 3 spells. Or I can just immediately play Emery. I think, given my opponent's mulligan, I am going to go ahead and just immediately play Emery. A little awkward, as it makes this card into essentially a dead card. Palace and Lotus Petal in the yard. I don't think I want to crack Bauble. I can have Metalcraft next turn, and then maybe cast 4 spells and transform it in some worlds, right? Because I go Urza Saga, 2 mana, Erayo, Lotus Petal, spell 2, Reality Chip spell 3. Yeah, if I draw a 0-drop, I get to flip an Erayo. Oh my god. Where's the Saga? I suppose I want to play my spell from Graveyard first, actually. This gives me Metalcraft. Bobble. Oh fuck! It had to be Lotus Petal, right? I needed that extra mana. Oh shit! Did I just fuck this up by getting in my own head? Yeah, I did. Damn it. That's my first spell. This is my second spell. Third spell. All right. Erayo becomes something for later then, and we're now on the Urza Saga route. Reality Chip didn't bail me out with the card that was on top. Let's play Bobble. And I think I will cash all of these cards in, but not... Actually, no, I should cast them in now because of Narset. Brainstorm. I care about Metalcraft, though. I guess this is an artifact. Alright. Revealing Plains. And revealing that same Plains again. That's fine. I guess it's really awkward if I just eat a Terminus here. Then I don't have Metalcraft. But I have the guaranteed land drop that allows me to activate Urza Saga. Alright, my opponent may or may not have Plains now. Schrodinger's Plains. Let's see what all I draw. Okay. Prismatic Ending on the Emery. That's pretty good. I messed up my Erayo, which is huge here. 3 mana to equip that. Which I can actually do. If I want. I think I want. Alright. Urza Saga activate. Or no, I can't cast this now. I have to equip in order to do that. So I guess I just kind of awkwardly put one of these into play. I think I hold this for next turn. Really needed like an LED here to kind of finish things off. Not super happy with how I played this one. Like messing up that Lotus Petal line was like just very easy. I just kind of got caught up in talking through things. I'm also like not particularly worried because my opponent mulliganed very deeply, and even 1 or 2 expressive iterations kind of leaves them behind in terms of like raw card value. Kappa Cannoneer. I'm unfortunately going to shuffle that away. Alright. So there's a new token. I've got 3 things that I can currently cast from my hand. I got redraw, or do I take some mana? I can just take an LED. I'm gonna take an LED here. Did not get what I was looking for there. I could play the Ancient Tomb off the top of Library by sacrificing Lotus Petal. I think I'm into that. Put that on, like, this construct. I'm really trying to flip this Erayo. There's Ancient... Can I play anything off the top? Yes, I can play anything off the top. So I will play a Mishra's Bauble. Let's go 3 mana. I don't think I'm willing to shock myself here. Let's cast this. This one. Did not hit another runner here. Alright. Kind of fell out of favor with the Reality Chip here. I don't want to play Mishra's Bauble. Like, Mishra's Bauble is worth a shock of value next turn. Alright, so the big thing that I'm scared of is, like, a Terminus. Sanctuary for Prismatic Ending is fine. Alright, there's a Prismatic Ending on the Erayo out of fear, which is good. Snapcaster Prismatic Ending on a Construct token is very strong. And my opponent just takes out the next one next turn. Yeah, that's fine. I think it's better for me to sacrifice this and take a redraw here than to attack for 1 more point of damage. Oh my god, another seat. Okay. This is not the most glorious line I have ever taken. Alright, attach this here. Cast. Oh my god, the top of my deck has been so bad. I mean, I'll bash in for 5 here. That Urza Saga will hopefully kind of bail me out of this relatively bad situation that I am in. I know my opponent is drawing another removal spell, which presumably goes on the Construct token. Yeah, that's fine. I will, maybe not happily, but I will take this damage. Another expressive iteration. That one is very good. Another Mystic Sanctuary. Sure. Okay. Alright, yeah, there goes that. Got this 0-4 again. Know I'm drawing my Urza's Saga. A little late for Chalice of the Void. Alright, play that. Don't have a creature to attach this to right now. Although I will next turn. Yeah, so this is now my opponent's third expressive iteration. They have definitely undone the damage from their mulligan. I wish I wasn't farting around with the reality chip and that I just, like, had another threat that killed my opponent, because, like, the Erayos and the reality chips just, like, did not contribute any damage towards my opponent. Like, they did stuff, almost. But, like, my mistake at the beginning of the game of not clicking on Lotus Petal and just clicking on a bauble or whatever it was instead might cost me this game. Alright, there is another Mystic Sanctuary. Yep. Jace is insane. Very good. Especially since my opponent has, like, Snapcaster Mage. That's, kind of a bullshit combination. Hoping for not land under this. No luck for me. Do I put this on 1, or do I put this on 2 for expressive iteration? I probably put this on 1 specifically for Swords to Plowshares. Does cost blue to reconfigure. Okay. I think that means then I take damage once. Let's reconfigure here. I think this time I go ahead and tap these. I still have a blue mana off Lotus Petal if I need it. Play Urza's Saga. I'm not sure if I can consider that. I don't know if that's a success or a failure right there. And I'm not sure if I give up my Lotus Petal. I think I don't. I think I put this on 1 specifically because of Swords to Plowshares. What the fuck? Hey? I mean, rebuy your Mystic Sanctuaries, I guess. Well, this is annoying. I'm pretty sure I just make 2 constructs on my opponent's end step and they die to that. Like, I could be wrong. Alright, there's the ending on the construct. Alright, there's the Pithing Needle. Alright. This one I have to do at sorcery speed. I'm okay tapping an Ancient Tomb for this one. I am absolutely searching for that Pithing Needle. That is now on top of my library. There it is. Name Jace the Mind Sculptor. And I hope my opponent just doesn't have, like, fucking lightning bolts. Alright. Equip there. Swords to Plowshares. Nice thwart, I guess. Target, so I can't just make a new one in response. Alright, I guess more Urza Saga it is. The good news is the Jace is off. Thwart, though. Alright, yeah. So this is really annoying. Alright, Prismatic Ending to exile. My opponent can use on Pithing Needle. Yep. Now I get to activate Jace. Yep. End step. I will make a token. It is very large. Alright, cool. I'm going to get to shuffle that away. I'm going to use a lot of mana this turn. I'm not going to think too much about it. Alright. Going to find me a Shadow Spear so that I can have trample. I think I'm just going to attempt lethal damage here. I think I leave that Ancient Tomb on top of library. Go equip here. This is theoretical lethal damage through Snapcaster Mage. Send it at them. Come on. Played my land drop for turn. I'm going to play an Emry to mill that Ancient Tomb off the top of my deck. There's an Urza's Bauble. There's an Echo of Eons. I don't think I want to cast that. If I equip, I can get a free Urza's Bauble, but then I can't make another Urza Saga Construct token. I think I'm just going to pass the turn here. And then I just get to attempt the end of turn Urza Saga token again. Oh my god, how many fucking Mystic Sanctuaries are in this deck? Sure. Alright, there goes a construct token. Sure. They're in the same situation as last turn, though, where they have to have a Pyroblast or sorry, they have to have another Source to Plowshares or they die. Sure. Alright, another Ponder. Another Ponder. I'm back to 17 life, so I can tap these Ancient Tombs willy-nilly. Alright. Construct token. Go to my turn. There's a Thoughtcast on top. I'm not actually going to get to keep that card. Make a new Construct token. I'm gonna get Tormod's Crypt here. Fuck these loops. I'll play an Urza's Bauble. Now I've got enough for this to easily be lethal. Let's just do this with this mana. Time to quit. Okay. I could have just won that game on like turn 3 by flipping Erayo, but not where we're at. Luckily I think I can absolutely fuck this deck up with these 6 cards. So let's get a lot of the cute shit out of the deck. So these Erayos need to go. I don't think I can ever cast this Echo. I'm cutting those, that means LEDs go. That gets those 6 cards in. I probably want Defense Grid. It's just like one more permanent that my opponent has to answer. Is Reality Chip good? Was certainly good that game. I know my opponent has Pyroblasts. Like, they have Pyroblast Swords and Prismatic Endings. Reality Chip gave me a lot of value. I'm very on the fence about it, but I feel like Defense Grid is important. For, like, stopping the Source to Plowshares shenanigans. Also, a little unhappy with Chalice of the Void. I think this hand is a mulligan. I would like to get out of the gates faster than this. Request denied. I'm going to keep this hand, though. Toss back 1 Bauble and plan on playing a much slower game than I like. I'm just gonna accept it. Oh, shit. Hand got a lot better. Like, a lot better. I can now play Urza's Saga on turn 1 or Unlicensed Hearse on turn 1. I think it's probably just Saga on turn 1 and use Hearse in the mid-game. Like, make my opponent use resources on all these Urza Saga tokens and then use Hearse to clean up the graveyard to stop all their EI loops. Sure. Okay. Kappa Cannoneer is a fine draw. Let us begin the artifact game. Alright, no end of turn brainstorm or anything. Alright. Feels like it's gonna be a ponder. Could be wrong. Almost certainly am wrong if they're fetching 2 mana here. Okay, it's the turn 3 EI. Finding a plains. Alright. Token time. Tap this. Make another construct. Sure. Alright. New construct on board. I don't think I need to Pithing Needle Jace because I can just play another Urza's Saga almost immediately. Do I just Pithing Needle Jace now? I maybe just want to Bauble. A little awkward versus Narset specifically if that happens. I am just going to Pithing Needle Jace now, I think. And I think I'm into this play right now. Alright, it's resolved. I'm just going to do this at sorcery speed. And 1, 2, 3, 4. If I play this 5, 6 easy next turn, I can just play Kappa Cannoneer easily. Go ahead and just cash this in for a card. Another expressive iteration. That's fine. Alright, Lotus Petal is my draw. That's kind of whatever. Actually, that's kind of good, isn't it? Because that allows me to just play Urza's Saga as my land for turn. I'm not going to show that yet. I am going to play these artifacts out, though. Just grow my attacker now into a very reasonable 5/5. Do not want to attack with Unlicensed Hearse this turn. Opponent goes to 13. I'll play an Urza Saga. I do need to actually add blue with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a Kappa Cannoneer, which has resolved. I've got Jace on lockdown. I've got the graveyard on lockdown. Here's to hoping no, like, Terminus. It would be very good. I still have an Urza Saga for if that happens, and, like, I still have an unlicensed Hearse that could attack, but Terminus would suck. Cool, cool. Yep. Really awkward to tap unlicensed Hearse right here if my opponent has another Brainstorm they can put a Terminus on top. But I think I need to accrue permanents under this, or spells under this. Alright, there is a Thoughtcast. I do not mind that at all. Land drop. I'm not making this a sorcery speed artifact. I am completely unwilling to do that. Empire Blast is fine. Alright, that will be the end of my turn. I don't want to attack with unlicensed Hearse. Just do not want to expose that to Swords to Plowshares. Like, Swords to Plowshares is a resource that I am very much trying to axe here. Yep. There's a Ponder. There is the Ponder. That's no shuffle. Attempt to continue to clear out the graveyard with this. Yeah, that's fine. Want to Mystic Sanctuary, the Expressive Iteration. Right, Urza Saga will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I just clear that out here. I think I just say no. And go ahead and make this critter. Still represents a 2-turn clock. This is worth the damage here. I just want a redraw. I kind of want the Shadow Spear, the trample, for getting past a Snapcaster Mage or something is relevant. Alright. Volcanic Island. Attempt equip on Construct. Attempt Mishra's Bauble. Sure. Am I just about to get Terminused again? Not immediately. I'm about to get Swordsed. Is annoying. What are the chances my opponent has double Swords to Plowshares in hand? I could crew this and attack for 4. I don't think that's correct, though. I think it is much more important to eat that Swords to Plowshares. So I'm going to use this moment to see if you do indeed have a Terminus on top. No, it is a Scalding Tarn on top. I think I just trim this again. I can probably just equip Shadow Spear next turn if that becomes relevant. I maybe lose 1 life for doing that. Alright, I don't really want that Volcanic Island. Alright, what are we working with? Sure. I need more creatures. Otherwise, like, the unlicensed Hearse is just awkward. Alright, Snapcaster Ponder is occurring. That's okay. I think it's more important to keep my opponent from, like, playing the end of turn fetch land like I activate unlicensed Hearse. They put a Swords to Plowshares on top game. God damn. Alright. Play Bauble. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 under here. I guess it doesn't really matter which way I do this, huh? This is better. Alright. Screw that. Whip that. Bash in for 7, lifelinking Trample. Its opponent to 4. I crack a Bauble. They have the Jace that I've stopped. But Serenity just nukes my entire board. I might need to just concede this game for clock-based reasons, because I have 5 minutes on clock. And I often can't F6 my opponent's turns. Alternatively, I can just try to grind my opponent's clock down to closer to what my clock is, but I don't think I really win the game from this position. Oh, Emery's very good, though. So I guess I cast Bauble, play a 2-mana Emery. I'm gonna go ahead and crack this in response, so I can just F6. Yeah. I think if my opponent has a big turn, I just concede. Alright, there's a Swords of Plowshares on that Emery. Okay, Kappa Cannoneer is the sort of card that, like, maybe can get me there, but, like, this Jace is an issue. And if my opponent's Fate Sealing with a Force of Will in hand, I'm just going to concede and try to win a game in 5 minutes. Serenity also is going to clean up this stuff. That sucks. I don't think I'm supposed to play Force of Negation specifically for Serenity. I think it's just going to be good if my opponent draws it. I am not okay with this hand. I think it is too inconsistent. This is a similar version of that previous hand. Get rid of Petal here. I can't really get rid of Petal. If I get rid of Petal, I can't Emery on turn 1. I get rid of Flame Blitz or Hearse. I think I get rid of Flame Blitz, but I'm not sure. Alright, yeah. 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 Actually, I could have kept Flame Blitz. That was a mistake. I'm trying to move very quickly here. Obviously. Alright. Bobble you. Planes. I've removed the upkeep stop on my opponent's turn. That Chalice is very good. Can't catch a break. Move swords. Oh, fantastic. Alright. Chalice on 1. Petal. Emery. Now I can remove things from my own graveyard to throw the Hearse, which is definitely relevant. You just fucking have the Serenity in your opening hand. No, it's Chalice, sure. Or sorry, it's Prismatic Ending for Chalice. Alright, remove that. No Kappa Cannoneer in my graveyard, which I would really like. So this is just going to be Emery for... I think I'm actually going to set up Defense Grid now, rather than take a card immediately. Alright, pitching Thwart. Alright, Ancient Tomb Pass. Sure, I don't think we need to do a draw step. Brainstorm in particular. Cool. First, we'll hit Brainstorm Swords. I'm running on empty. I need to top deck something relevant. I'm really annoyed that I didn't keep the Flame Blitz because I miscounted while trying to play fast. It is what it is. It's the sort of thing that's just going to get caught up in Serenity when my opponent plays one. Ow. Here's to hoping this resolves. It will kill my opponent incredibly quickly if it does. I'm not going to go for the unlicensed Hearse attack. I will hit some stuff from my own graveyard here, continue to grow this, and this becomes my backup for if something goes wrong with Kappa Cannoneer. There's a Crypt. Yield that. Loaded blue mana. Play this. Keep that Opal. Attempt to hit in for 7. Oh, hot damn, it actually worked. Alright, no random Terminus here. No Shuffle, though. Cool. Alright, junk the Ponder. Thoughtcast is not bad here. Alright, so let's do this. Do that. Attempt to go deeper here. Otawara. Well, that's fucking cruel. I'm 1 mana short of being able to just bounce that Serenity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Guess I play this. Thoughtcast yet again while I still can. 1 mana short of doing cool shit with that. This is 7. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I guess we're doing this. And send 8 on in there. Opponent goes to 4. Unfortunately, like, that play is just insane. Alright, sure. Now basically this game comes down to whether or not my opponent draws Swords to Plowshares. Sort of interestingly, if I had gone for the unlicensed Hearse attack, I would be in a better position right now, because my opponent would potentially be dead, but that was a great degree of risk. I need to find a red mana for this Pia's Revolution, because if this sticks, it's, like, horrifying. Yeah. That's red mana. Alright, Urza Saga. Lotus Petal. Fine using this here. Cast Pia's Revolution. Alright, it's in play. I've got 2 constructs coming. I have not used my Pithing Needle yet this game. So I can Pithing Needle Jace, and then if my opponent... Well, I guess my opponent would exile it rather than destroy it. So that's a thing. Okay, sure. There's a land drop. Sure. Opponent's got 1 card. Alright. Play seat, pass the turn. There's a Brainstorm. Opponent has to find Swords to Plowshares or equivalent. Can't be a sorcery speed one. Sure. Okay, Snapcaster Mage. that gets to EI. Or no, that doesn't get to EI. That gets to Brainstorm. Oh, wait, have you used Shadow Spear? I've not used Shadow Spear. I can get Shadow Spear and attempt lethal. And not let my opponent chump block this turn cycle. But then that's, you know, not stopping Jace, which is a whole nother problem. Alright, so there's 2-2. This is 3-3. Artifact is 4-4, 5-5. So I can go for Shadow Spear and go for the kill. They spawn their wheels really hard. I think I'm supposed to just get the Pithing Needle and stop Jace. How many swords are in exile? 2. I maybe don't have time to play a longer game. Try to kill now. Like, I am very much low on clock here. Alright, attack you. Oh, Brainstorm Indeterminus. Sure. Alright. I'll look at a random card. Oh, swords as well. Sure. Alright, so I'm super punished for not killing Jace. But again, I don't know that I have time to play a longer game. Like, I have 17 seconds left on clock. So I don't know that stopping Jace and not going for the kill there is correct at all. Yeah. So if you want a case study for why people think expressive iteration should be banned, this match is a great example of it. It's just insane to loop that with Mystic Sanctuary. Alright. And, like, the Delver decks are doing it, the control decks are doing it. And, yeah, this is what we end up with. Alright. I'm basically dead here. Okay, sure. Yeah, you can fetch. And then you just, like, fetch, EI again, yeah. Alright. Should have kept an EI counter for how many times my opponent cast expressive iteration over the course of this match. It probably was like 15. Alright, I draw Unlicensed Hearse. I just don't have time to win with that. I'm gonna concede. Alright, GG's. Alright, final round. I'm not really excited about this hand. And can play Pithing Needle on Wasteland on turn 1, and play Emery on turn 2. Kappa Cannoneer on turn 3. I guess that's not actually that bad. This is very much not an exciting opening hand, though. Alright. Name Wasteland. Hope the hand works out. I want this stop back. Well, Ox Diamond on Wasteland was probably good. Yeah, Ox Diamond on Wasteland was good. Or, you know what I meant. My Emery's about to get fucking Punishing Fired, though. Oh, I've got a second Emery. That's worth something. I could Reality Chip as to not get Punishing Fired in this turn cycle. I think I'm on board with that. Just, like, such an obvious thing that my opponent is incredibly likely to have. And in some worlds, like, playing Reality Chip saves me some damage in the next turn cycle. Oh, sure. Alright, I get a Volcanic Island. Please don't Life from the Loam. Cool. Great. Alright, I think all of my enthusiasm for this league is just fucking gone. Like, this has just been 5 grindy rounds where I'm going to come out on the wrong side of basic... Just concede. Just fucking concede on turn 2. Alright. Alright, I'll play an Emery, I guess. 1 mana short of Equip and playing Bobble. All I need to do is get a Kappa Cannoneer into play. That should basically just be impossible, though. Because, like, Life from the Loam just happens every single turn cycle, so I can't actually build up mana. Yeah. Alright. I will pay for Emery. Don't have any mana in Yard. This is an artifact which matters for the Thoughtcast type stuff. I think I just have to let this go, though. Alright. Play a Bobble. Tap this. Play a Pithing Needle. Put Pithing Needle on Wasteland, I guess. I can just put it on Boseiju, and then still just get Wastelanded into Oblivion. I guess I need to put it on Boseiju. Boseiju who endures, right? I'm just gonna double check myself. Yeah, Boseiju who endures. Can still get Wastelanded. That still very much matters. Oh, cool. Caracas. Cool, cool, cool. I think I'm going to concede this one pretty quickly. Like, if my opponent has any sort of prismatic ending type card, I'm just going to move on to the next game. I draw a card. My opponent will dredge life from the loam. Oh no, they won't dredge life from the loam. Alright. So they're going to make me pay and then bounce my Emery. I don't really have anything else to do. Sure. Cool. Grab a bauble, I guess. Alright. Play a bauble. Play a seat. Play a lotus petal. I'm 1 mana short for Kappa Cannoneer. The 1 mana thought cast. The 1 mana short of Kappa Cannoneer. I guess I play Emery just to put more stuff into my graveyard. Opponent did not bounce my Emery. Alright. Opponent is red-green lands. We're seeing Valakut Exploration, which is the thing that finally kind of confirms this for me. Yeah, you can bounce that to my hand. Oh, cool. I might actually get to, like, win this game. That's weird and unexpected. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a Kappa Cannoneer. I'll replay the Emery. Make my opponent use some resources on it. So, opponent will need either to obliterate all of my lands, which is possible, or so Tabernacle can kill Kappa, or they need a Maze of Ith. Get rid of this zone. This zone is now more important. I cannot catch a fucking break. I will pay. Okay, that helps. Well, no, it actually doesn't help, right? This wasteland. Whatever. Hopefully I can tax my opponent's resources hard enough that this does stuff. Or actually, I probably want to cash in my bauble. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or no, it's 4. No, I don't want to cash in the bauble then. Alright. Always yield to those. Attempt 6 damage. Alright, there's the ward going off. My opponent will pay for it. No damage happens. I'll play an Emery. And we'll go from there. Hopefully this taxes my opponent hard enough that they can't do too much. There's an exploration. That realistically means that my opponent might be able to wasteland me into oblivion. Alright, there's a wasteland. Wasteland the Saga. Alright, bounce that. I do get in for a decent amount of damage this turn. Pay for both Kappas. 1 mana thought cast. Nice. Pretty happy with that as a draw. I'll go ahead and play that. Grow these Kappas. I will put the Shadow Spear on the smaller of the two. That way these two catch up in terms of size. Puts my opponent to 6. You may return your Punishing Fire if you so choose. You do indeed so choose. I am fine losing my Lotus Petal to continue to pressure my opponent's mana. And I'll go ahead and sack this bauble. There is a Thespian stage over there. I just need an artifact to make these potentially unblockable next turn. I would say that qualifies as an artifact, although that one's a little hard to cast. Well, I guess I'm glad I didn't concede this one. Okay, cool. That was a miserable game of Magic. Okay. This Erayo stuff is not happening. I think it's hard for me to keep another creature around for reality chip-based reasons. I'm not going to immediately cut that. I'm going to immediately cut those 6, and if I need 2 more, my cuts are reality chips. Unlicensed Hearse, 100% is coming in. And then, essentially, I'm thinking about these 7 cards over here. If I cut reality chip, that's all but one of those innately. Reality chip is just so bad versus Tabernacle. I think I am in on this pile of, on this pile of cards. Maybe I don't want 2 Pia's Revolutions. They're a little tough on the mana. The damage or card advantage that they represent is pretty big, though. Yeah, I think I'll play all of them. I just don't know what to cut. I could cut 1 Chalice. So it has to be a Chalice on 2 to matter. That is a weird hand. So, like, this is a reasonable plan against most decks, but my opponent has such consistent access to Wasteland. And this hand does nothing if I get Wastelanded. I don't know, is this better than average? This might still just be better than average with one more random card. I'm not happy about it. But, like, this hand, for example, can cast a very fast Kappa Cannoneer. Is Revolution. That can just become my turn 1 play. Alright. Ancient Tomb. Bauble. Crypt. Mox Opal. Pia's Revolution. Sacrifice Bauble. Triggering Pia's Revolution. What happened there? A non-token artifact was put onto my graveyard from the battlefield. Oh great, a card that I built my deck around is actually just bugged. That's really frustrating. Wow. Wow. Like, I'm so done. I know my opponent has Life from the Loam, so I can't play out this Urza Saga. I don't have a blue card for Force of Negation, and I would have either had a Lightning Bolt worth of damage or another card to help fix these problems if it was not for this. Not working. Cool. Trigger Pia's Revolution, which doesn't work. What the fuck? Sorry, this is beyond frustrating. I play out this. Alright, draw a new card with Bauble. Did not hit a blue card. Alright, opponent's chilling. I'm trying to kind of wait on the Urza Saga here, but I think I don't really have that option anymore. So I think I don't crack the Bauble. I now have Force of Negation up as something that I can hardcast, and I have Tormod's Crypt to help cover the graveyard. I will Force of Negation that. Or no, I won't Force of Negation that, because I want to Force of Negation the Life from the Loam that comes afterwards. This is awkward, I guess. No, I guess I play for the short term here. Really? Sure. Yeah. Bobble you. Would have been 9 total damage from Pia's Revolution. Okay. I lose this Urza Saga. Oh great, a nut. Okay. Alright. Nuke the graveyard there. This would have been 12 total damage from Pia's Revolution. Cool. I'm sorry. I'm done with this league. I'm not dead here. This is just absurd. Thought I was conceding the whole league there. Guess not. I guess I'll try again. Guess I'll play another Chalice. I guess I play an LED. Whatever last card I play isn't particularly good. I guess it's a reality chip. Seat, Petal, Emery, Bauble with Force of Negation backup. Fine. Alright, Seat, Petal, Bauble, Emery, L4. Okay, there's good stuff in there. Do I want to crack Bauble? This is currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana towards Kappa. I probably don't want to crack Bauble. Cool. I'm just going to concede the game. I'm sorry. I've been recording with this deck for many hours, and now I've found that like one of the primary things that I built this deck around doesn't work. That's frustrating. Alright. Overall thoughts on the deck list. Honestly, not that bad. We did the Erayo thing a couple of times, but ultimately, like, this is a package, and I'm going to count that echo here. Like, this is an 8-card package that is keeping you from playing cards like Force of Will and Thought Monitor, and I think I would rather have all of those cards than these cards. I never once successfully cast an Echo of Eons in this league. I am not sure that I ever actually used Lion's Eye Diamond for mana, because it's, like, very awkward to do so. I, like, maybe did once. And the Erayo kind of warps your opening play patterns in a way that forces you to go all in on Erayo instead of doing the thing that is probably better than Erayo. Because, like, if you do the Erayo thing and it doesn't work out, like, you just lose the game for trying, I think. Reality Chip did some cool stuff in a couple of rounds, but I think traditional 8 cast is built in the way that it is for good reason. Like, the deck is just incredibly consistent, and I feel like I took consistency away from my deck by adding these cards. Generally speaking, though, this deck doesn't get a thumbs down. Like, this was still a powerful deck that did a lot of stuff, and honestly, our results weren't that bad. I did feel like we got incredibly unlucky, and if this card was not bugged, I would have won the last round, I think, unquestionably. So I'm going to go submit my bug report and take my play points back. I hope you all have a great rest of the day. See ya!